All right, Nick, let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Probably, in our opinion, one of the best teams in the NFL right now. They're the hottest team out there. They have one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL right now in Joe Burrow. He is to die for as a quarterback. He has every intangible, I think, imaginable. He has all of the arm talent, all of the progressions, everything. But there's more than just the players here, Nick. And we have a story today talking about some of the higher level things that the Bengals do extremely well, and I think the fans are going to love this one.
Yeah, Miles, I think the story that you dug up highlights exactly why the Bengals will be successful, not just in the short term, but also the long term as well. But before we get into that report, Cincinnati fans, kind of an interesting question for you today to answer, as always, in the comment section below. What former Cincinnati Bengal would you like to take out to lunch or take out for an adult beverage potentially and just talk ball with them? If there was one guy that you could talk football with that played for Cincinnati, just one guy that you would like to take out and just talk football with them, who would that be? Let us know in the comment section below. All right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest update out of Cincinnati?
Yeah, Nick, I feel like if we weren't talking football, it would be Vontez Burfict because I feel like he would be pretty wild. But outside of that, Nick, I think the Bengals, they're doing a lot of really great stuff. And that just shows in all of the little minutia, all of the details about this team. And specifically today, we want to talk about their salary cap health. Because, Nick, PFF did a very great, complicated, but in-depth study and went to a 3-year analysis of all 32 NFL teams and contributed a lot of factors to it, talking about their rosters, contracts, rookie deals, draft picks, all that kind of stuff is taken into account. And they approximated a salary cap health. And Nick, I'm going to show the article here first before we talk about the main point here. But the Cincinnati Bengals ranked somewhere very important there. And right now, I'm showing the Bengals were number 1 in the NFL in salary cap health. I think that is phenomenal for the Bengals being so competitive as a team, yet still having, really, really great salary cap health has to make you feel good as a Bengals fan, specifically because you got a lot of big contracts coming to deal with, but your team is adequate at dealing with the salary cap situation and that you have the room and the health of salary cap to deal with such situations as well. But let's get into the article. Nick says Cincinnati remains atop of our list for a second year in a row, which is not an easy accomplishment. But the major financial changes on the horizon are evidenced by the Bengals ranking 25th in the 2024 free agent evaluation. The number is largely carried by wide receiver T. Higgins and interior defender DJ Reader, but decisions on fifth-year option tackle Jonah Williams and pending free agents and cornerback Chidobe Awuzie and wide receiver Tyler Boyd are all coming soon. Fortunately, the Bengals have done an excellent job of adding talent in the draft, and they can be expected to take over top roles, which will help balance out the monster deal coming for incoming quarterback Joe Burrow, whoever else remains. So, Nick, like we talked about right before we read this, the Bengals have a lot of rookies deals coming up, a lot of salary caps coming up, but they have managed the cap perfectly, and they are in a very, very good situation to deal with everything. And I want to hear your opinions on all of this, Nick. But before we get there, I'd like everyone to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word from our partner. And that is, of course, Neuro. They have a lot of great products to give you a quick and easy boost of energy. We love to take their products right before the show. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of the show and listen to about Neuro and all of their products and get your hands on our discount code. But Nick, nonetheless, I want to hear your opinions. How special is it that the Bengals are once again number 1 in salary cap health?
Well, I think the important thing to understand, and there's a couple factors to remind the audience here. This is for the next 3 years. This isn't just into 2023. This isn't just a one-off of what next year will look like. This is actually combining the next 3 years, the next 2023, 2024, 2025 of all 32 teams. And with that 3-year analysis, the Bengals rank number 1. And let's take a deep dive into what goes into this to make sure everyone understands what's going on here. The first thing PFF did here is they valued the top 51 players on everyone's roster. And the top 51 players are the only players that count against the salary cap. Those are the NFL rules. They put those valuations on it and they rank them. So that's the first factor into this. The second is the rookie contract valuation. Because look, No rookies have played yet, so they have to value what rookies are currently on the teams and see what their value is going to be over the next 4 or 5 years. They have a really interesting formula and do a lot of interesting calculations to kind of project that out. I think it's kind of neat, but it's really in the weeds. I won't go into the details here. Just know that they factor into the rookies in their evaluation as well. And then they look at projected effective cap space over the next 3 years. And here I think is one of the important ones. They value teams' total prorated money. And what that means is when a team converts a contract, like a 4-year deal, $10 million each, into one signing bonus to spread it out to hopefully alleviate some short-term issues on the salary cap, that increases your prorated money. What that means is you aren't flexible. The New Orleans Saints are famous for this. They're incredibly inflexible. The Cincinnati Bengals are near the top of the NFL and having the fewest total prorated dollars. That means they're going to be extremely flexible with the salary cap going forward, which is obviously going to be critical. And finally, they look at the valuations of their future free agents, and that's the only thing potentially hurting them is, like you alluded to, Miles, they got a couple guys going into next season and the year beyond that are going to be free agents that they could potentially lose. Now, despite all of that and all those factors, the Bengals are far and away the number one team in terms of PFF's analysis of salary cap health. And that obviously is incredibly important with Joe Burrow's dollars coming due soon. You got Jamar Chase's dollars coming due soon. You're going to have a lot of big contracts you're going to have to flesh out. But I think the important thing to really highlight here, Mize, is that if you look at the teams around them, right, the other teams that make up the top 5, and I'm just going to go through them real quick. You have the Patriots, okay team. Jets, maybe a contender with Aaron Rodgers. You have the Chicago Bears, stink. Detroit Lions, we think they're going to be better, but they're not a Super Bowl contender. The Bengals are the only team in the top 5 that's a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Let's go with the other Super Bowl contenders. Where do they rank in terms of this list? So you go down this list here. You have the Kansas City Chiefs, right? The number 1 team competing with the Bengals. They rank 16th. You look at the Seattle Seahawks, they're a quality team, 28th. Baltimore Ravens, 27th. San Francisco 49ers, top contender, 26th. Philadelphia Eagles, they're considered one of the smarter teams in football. They're 15th. Not only are the Cincinnati Bengals the number 1 team in football in salary cap health, Mice, they outclass all the other top contenders. They outclass all the other teams with young quarterbacks. You look at the Miami Dolphins are a great example of this. The Miami Dolphins have Tua drafted same year as Joe Burrow. They should have great salary cap health. Nope, they're 17th according to PFF. The Cincinnati Bengals not only have a great quarterback, talented roster, good coach, and they're contending as they were the last few years and will continue to contend. They outsmarted everyone in terms of how they structured the salary cap, and that is going to be critical for long-term success. If I'm a Bengals fan, this is the best indication that you'll see yet to show that what you've seen the past 2 years, what you'll see in 2023, will continue for the out years. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Mize. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.